All right, everybody, welcome back to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt. In front of me is Adam Schmidt. We are the Nosebleeds. Welcome back, everybody. Adam, how are you today?
Fan standing. How are you?
Fan standing. If I was any better, I'd be you.
That's fantastic and outstanding.
And outstanding. It's a double, right?
I know you would have gotten that. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood.
Right. All right. So I think we understand. Now I forgot what the word was.
Fan standing.
Fan sanding. I like it. All right. So
I'm running out.
I hear you. We got a long way to go, man.
I know.
All right. So we got a lot of stuff to go through today, though. Packed show. I got a lot of funny things we want to get into. We want to get into the Reds. We're going to talk about the AllStar voting. I got to talk about the World Cup because we now have the finals set up. But the first thing is I want to thank everyone who watched last week on Facebook Live. We were right around 300 views. It worked out really good. Worked out so good that at this moment in time, we just randomly kicked the Facebook Live on again. And somebody gets on, they get on. If you guys are there, say hi. And this time I think we might be able to read some comments and things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you got it pulled up?
I'm pulling it up right now.
All right. So if you catch it, if you get on, let us know any questions or anything like that. We'll see what we can do.
There we are.
All right. So real quick before we get started, I would like to say that the funniest thing. So I was in Columbus, Ohio today, and this is kind of the weirdest thing I've ever had happen to me. And I didn't tell you this earlier today. So I'm at a gas station. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm getting ready to leave Columbus to head back to Cincinnati. And a fellow walks up to me. Looks like he's half asleep. And he says, "Got any spare change for the homeless?" And I said, "Yes, I do." Went in. I always have a big hunk of change sitting in the front console.
Sure.
Grab a handful of change, probably mostly pennies, but there was some nickels, quarters, and dimes. Handful of change, walk over to hand him this change. He looked at me and said, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh, a homeless guy turned down your change?
He totally turned. He asked for spare change, and then when I went to give him spare change, he said, "Nope.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
good." Must have been way too much change, I guess.
Yeah. So did he have a cup or some sort of container to carry it in?
No.
Okay. So
but he
that's
did
the
have
thing.
pants with a pockets.
That's the thing, though. If he's like me, can't stand to have change, just tons of change in there, just jiggling around. I mean, it reminds
Then
me.
don't ask me for spare change. Ask me for $1.
He probably figures you have like 50 cents or something like that.
If you want $1 or multiple dollars, not ask for dollars. Don't walk up to me and say, "Do you got spare change?" Yeah, I got a ton of it in the front of my car. I'd be happy to give you as much as you want.
Sure,
I don't use it.
I've got 38 pennies, 8 quarters, 7 dimes, and 6 nickels. Of
Dude,
course.
I probably have like $14 in my change in pennies and nickels and dimes. But I don't. When I go to the drive-thru, it's not like I don't grab my $4.18. I give them a $5, and I always just throw the change in there. It's actually nice because the change doesn't fall over into my cup holder. If I was able to give it to him, so I thought that was pretty funny.
Maybe they don't accept pennies at the heroin store.
That could be. He looked like he was. I don't know if it was heroin because maybe it is. He just looked like he was about to fall asleep right there talking to me.
Well, he was probably high on something.
He was. I would not doubt that at all.
That's. I shouldn't assume that. That's awful. He's probably just down on his luck.
You know what? I think it's okay to assume that.
Not everybody.
You didn't see him. I did.
You're right.
It's okay to assume that.
All right.
All right. So safe bet there. So you guys, you can find us on Facebook. Like I said, right now we're on the Facebook Live trying to do this. We got a little different setup. You can see a little bit more of the man cave behind me here.
Lucky for you, my back is turned to you, so you're welcome.
Unlucky for you. I don't know if you can even see my face from over there.
I can see it very well.
Can you?
Oh, you look so
nice.
beautiful.
All right. So good. So Adam's up on there. So if you got any questions, hit him up. Ask us what's going on. So Nosebleed Sports Podcast on Facebook. Check it out. Also, Slippery Dogs Beat the Streak. I know it's really difficult to find. Just had another guy today ask me for an invite, so I'm going to write that down to invite Scotty. And so we'll have another guy on there. Get you a T-shirt if you get to 20, and a big prize box if you are the leader for the entire year. Have the longest streak. You'll get a big Nosebleed Sports Podcast box of
Gift
goodies. Gift package. We had a few new subscribers. Thanks to you guys. Please just let me know your shirt sizes, and the deal is still good. You guys are getting the first ever Nosebleed Sports Podcast T-shirts.
Yes.
They are. I don't have any down here, so sorry, I can't show anybody what they look like. It's a surprise. Maybe in a week I'll have a big design back in this back corner of the Nosebleed Sports Podcast.
Hey.
See, I put a big old vinyl thing up there. All right, so let's jump into this. Before we get into baseball, which is the big thing, I want to bring up one thing that we talked about a little bit last week. Boogie Cousins, the ankle deal. All these teams, Achilles, like ankle, Achilles, whatever. Front, back, side to side. So all these teams are coming out saying, they passed up, they never offered Boogie because of the fact that they're saying he's not going to be back until somewhere around the All-Star break or around the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said that he thinks he's going to be back for training camp.
So listen to this. Rudy Gay, last year, there was a guy on the radio today talking. He went over, there's been 19 Achilles, the same Achilles injury that he has. There's been 19 of them in the last, I think it was 25 years, which is not a lot. Don't be scared of the microphone. It'll be all right. You got a bug on there?
There's a bug flying around. I'll be all right.
All right, so anyway.
If you
sure
see me
about
just
that?
spit on my computer, it's because a bug flew in my mouth.
I don't know if you're going to be okay. You might say that, but I don't think you are. All right. So anyway, there's been 19 of these injuries in the past 20 some years. The same injury. Mm-hmm. The average recovery time is 9.8 months, which, if you do that, would put Boogie Cousins back in the second week of the season. Rudy Gay had the same injury last year. Or 2 years ago. Sorry, the same injury 2 years. Yeah. Within the 2-week window of when Boogie had his, he played the opening game of the season this year. So I think it's definitely a possibility this could happen.
Yeah, and Boogie is so optimistic about being back early because he said he's pretty far ahead of schedule for his rehab.
Exactly.
So if that's the case and it continues that way, yeah, he'll probably be fine for opening night.
Good. So I just wanted to bring that up because that is something that was it just seemed weird to me, and I start hearing all these stats, and it's like, man, this dude's really going to be – the Warriors are going to be unbelievable. And everybody's talking about Boogie Cousins is going to slow him down. Oh, he's a big guy. He's going to slow him down. Guess what? They ain't slowing down. They're just going to run by him.
Yeah.
They're just going to run by him. When they get in a set, he'll be down there. And when they're not in a set – they don't care. If anything, he'll come down at the end and they can kick out and he can hit a three from the top of the key.
Hopefully they can convince him to become a great defensive player. And he's not a bad defensive player now, but to really commit on defense, that's where he could really have a major impact on this team.
Yeah.
Because they were a really good defensive team, and then they had spurts last year where they became not so great defensively. They're always going to be great offensively.
But this gives them a true number 5. It's not JaVale McGee. He's a true 5, and I think that's just going to make
They've proven that they don't need one, but when you have the best one in the league,
it's not going to hurt, right?
Certainly not.
I mean, obviously.
I don't think so.
All right. So on a switch on to note, let's get into the All-Star voting that went down. So we chose all of our All-Stars. And we were not very close. I mean, we were close, but we didn't get all of them. Do you remember who you took?
We were really close.
I'm not going to lie to you. I felt like I was a mile away, but that's because I wavered on so many. All right, so do you got it pulled up? You want to go over who the list was?
Yeah. So who we picked or who the actual
All-Star game?
Yeah.
Who's in the actual All-Star game?
So the starters for the American League, catcher is Wilson Ramos from the Rays. I'm pretty sure I have it up from last week.
Wilson Ramos we both took. Wilson Ramos was
okay.
easy.
Yep. Jose Abreu at first base, we both had him. Jose Altuve at second base, we both had him.
Yep.
Jose Ramirez at third base, we both had him.
American League was easy.
American League was pretty easy. Manny
continue.
Machado at short.
Yep.
Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, we both had him. Aaron Judge.
That was my 3 that I had.
Yeah, and I think I did. Yeah, I did pick Judge too. And JD Martinez is DH. I think we had all those guys.
It was pretty simple. I feel like it's just like the American League playoffs that's already set. There's already the 5 teams. There's 5 teams already set for the American League playoffs, and we're not even at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
That's why the All-Star game was easy to pick.
So the reserves really quickly. Salvador Perez for the Royals, catcher. First base Mitch Moreland for the Red Sox. Second base Gleyber Torres. Also second base Jed Lowry. Alex Bregman, third baseman from the Astros.
I like that Bregman kid.
He's good. He's real nice.
He really came alive during the playoffs last year and made a name for himself.
Yeah. Francisco Lindor, shortstop for the Indians. Michael Brantley, outfielder for the Indians. Shin-Soo Choo, our old buddy.
How does Shin-Soo Choo make the All-Star
He's
game?
having actually a nice year. He's kind of back to being that great on-base guy that he was with the Reds and he was with the Texas Rangers. Or he is with the Texas Rangers. He was with the Indians before he came to the Reds.
Right.
Anyway, Mitch Haniger, Mariners, George Springer for the Astros, Nelson Cruz for the Mariners. So those guys round out the reserves. And then the final vote finished today. Gene Segura, shortstop for the Mariners, also got
That's good.
got the final vote. So pitchers, Trevor Bauer, Jose Barrios, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Cole, Edwin Diaz, J.A. Happ, Joe Jimenez, Craig Kimbrell, Corey Kluber, Chris Sale, Luis Severino, Blake Trinan, and Justin Verlander.
No Cody Allen.
No Cody Allen.
I know that's for sure.
There's a reason for that.
Yes, there is.
So the National League starters, Wilson Contreras from the Cubs, who I think – did I?
I didn't take him.
You know what? It was between him and Buster Posey, and I circled Buster Posey.
You took Buster Posey.
I did. Freddie Freeman was easy at first base.
Yep.
Javier Baez at second base.
Which we knew he was going to get it because of where – well, we didn't know that, but I think I took Scooter. You took Baez.
I took Baez by like a split hair. And like I said, Jeanette, equally deserving in my opinion. Nolan Arenado at third, who I know I picked.
We both took Arenado. He was leading.
Over Suarez.
Yeah. I took Arenado.
Yeah.
Easily over Suarez.
Okay. Brandon Crawford, I had him at
yes,
short.
you did.
Nick Markakis, Matt Kemp, those were 2 easy ones for us, and then Bryce Harper was the other one. I had between Harper and a few other guys, and I picked Lorenzo Cain, who I thought he might not have even made the reserves, but he did. So anyway, Bryce Harper was the third one, and let's remember that. Go ahead. Take
Bryce Harper's batting average out of it, and that dude is having a great year still.
He's still one of the best in the league at least as far as power numbers. Okay, so the reserves, there are 3. So the National League has 4 catchers on this roster.
Wow.
So Wilson Contreras.
So did my boy Molina make it?
Your boy and Tyler Roop's boy, Yadier Molina, made it.
Yes, he did.
All right. Congratulations to Tyler and you.
Yes, thank you.
Buster Posey
Tyler,
made it.
I know you're excited.
Buster Posey made it. JT Real Muto, if I'm saying that correctly.
Real Muto, that's what I say. That's how I say it.
Let's see. Paul Goldschmidt, Joey Votto, both made it at first base. I was a little bit surprised.
I was surprised
by Votto.
about Votto. I was definitely surprised about Votto.
Not that he doesn't
but
deserve
good for
it,
him.
but his I think
at some point in time you're just that good.
Yeah, and
your numbers don't have to be the best for everybody to know you step up to the plate and you're a badass.
Yeah, you're still leading the league in on base, so that's good enough for the.
Oh yeah,
and he wasn't voted in by the fans, so these are actually the managers or whatever that choose the reserves,
and they know who the hardest people to pitch against are.
Right. Anyway, Ozzie Albies and Scooter Gennett, who were both we discussed. I felt all 3 of those guys were pretty equally deserving. So I was glad to see both of them make it. Eugenio Suarez, very excited for him. Trevor Story at short. Charlie Blackmon, Lorenzo Cain, and Christian Yelich all in the outfield. All three
Not bad.
very good outfielders. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So and then the final vote getter was Jesus Aguilar, first baseman for the Brewers.
There you go. That I like the Aguilar kid.
He's really good. And then and I think my favorite story about him is a couple of weeks ago when the Reds and Brewers were playing in Cincinnati. I was at the game, and there was a situation where Joey Votto was talking to the umpire about a ball or strike that I think a strike call that he disagreed with in between pitches, and the Brewers, I think it was their backup catcher maybe, said something to Votto or just kind of like butted into the conversation and said something about
whatever they were talking about,
what he thought about it, and then I think may have said something about just jump back in the box or something like that, and Votto didn't like it, and then they just kind of kept exchanging words, and then the benches came out and the bullpens came out, and during that the benches and bullpens came out, and Aguilar was pretending to be real aggressive and like hold everybody back, and then and
so he was messing around.
He was messing around, and they were all like, everybody else was just kind of like joking around, and Amir Garrett acted like he was putting his dukes up, like he was gonna fight him, and Aguilar kind of started dancing around, and then they kind of hugged. Like it was.
I like that.
It was really strange, but
that's my new favorite. That's my new
yeah,
favorite baseball fight.
That's my favorite baseball fight too, when they don't actually fight because it's dumb.
All sports fights are so stupid.
They really are.
So baseball fights are just a whole bunch of people holding each other.
Yeah.
The very beginning of a baseball fight is the only really good fight in sports, because you got an actual chance to get a blow in.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just a whole bunch of people standing around.
Yeah.
NBA fights terrible because
Silly.
It's just people standing like there's no way that Rajon Rondo can hold Boogie Cousins back, but somehow when Boogie Cousins gets in a fight, Rondo's pulling him all the way to the come on, if you really wanted to fight the guy, you'd push Rondo over and go knock somebody out.
Sure.
All right. So then my all-time favorite is the NFL, who is the dumbest fights in the world. Who punches a guy with a helmet on? Why in God's name are you trying to punch a guy when he has a helmet on?
And I hate NFL. I shouldn't say hate, but I dislike. That's one of the reasons I'm not as big an NFL fan, is because it feels like after every single play there's pushing and shoving and people grabbing each other and getting extra little shoves in and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I get so tired of that so quickly, and it seems like it's every play.
It's the physicality.
Whatever. The physicality should be the hits that happen during the play. After that, just go back to your huddle.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming with that.
So, finishing up really quickly, just the National League pitchers: Patrick Corbin, Jacob deGrom, Sean Doolittle, Mike Foltynewicz. That's my best guess at that. Josh Hader, Brad Hand, Kenley Jansen, John Lester, Miles Mikolas. That's my best guess at that. Aaron Nola, Max Scherzer, Felipe Vasquez, Ross Stripling.
How about that?
What I'm really surprised about is
that you were able to pronounce those?
No, I probably pronounced most of them incorrectly, which is going to bother me. But what I'm really surprised is no Reds pitchers. That's a joke.
I don't know why that's a joke. I mean, I think Iglesias would have an opportunity to be in there.
I think
honestly.
some people did actually feel like Iglesias had a chance, and he did. But there are other guys. There are plenty of other guys having good years in the back of the bullpens for other teams. So he didn't make it, and it's not a really big deal to me. The three guys that are most deserving made it from the Reds, and that's Jeanette, Suarez, and Votto.
There you go.
So let me ask you a question.
Ask me all the questions that you can possibly think of
regarding two of those guys that I just mentioned. Two of the three that made the All-Star team from the Reds. I don't even know how to approach this, because I can't stand when people bring this up just because a guy is suddenly having a good year or a good span. But when in the past, all the PED talk, the performance-enhancing drugs in baseball, what most of the guys that have been caught, what is the one thing that most of them say why they started doing that? I won't put you on the spot. It's for me, it seems to me like when people are coming back from injury, a lot of the guys say, "Well, I was
Sure.
coming back from injury, and
Yeah.
that helps me be able to rehab more and work out
You hear
more
that
and
all the
stuff like
time.
that." Right. So for me, and it's so number one, I'm not accusing anybody.
Okay.
Let's not get this
I
right.
like to know. Okay, so
But
who's,
it's just
who is it?
interesting to me. Like I guess what I'm saying is I'm a little surprised that I haven't heard yet, and I'm glad because it would be silly. But Scooter Gennett wasn't much of a player in Milwaukee, right?
Sure.
He came to the Reds and became an all-star.
Okay.
Eugenio Suarez, over the last couple of years, has developed really quickly.
It's been 4 years. I mean, 3-4 years, and that's when you start seeing things like that. I don't know about that. So
Yeah.
I see where you're coming. I see where you're going with this.
Well, here's the thing is, and it's so he started out the year, the first week or two or whatever that he played, he was hitting the ball really well, and then he fractured his thumb, and he missed a little, like 2.5 weeks. He missed like 16 or 17 games. He came back a little earlier than expected, and has just torn up National League pitching since he's been back every day.
Brady Anderson is what you're saying.
Brady Anderson.
We're going to call him Brady
He had
Anderson.
51 home runs
Yes,
1 year.
1
and
year.
13
Never
home
hit
runs
more
the
than
rest of his
20
life.
every other time. No. All right. Well, here's the thing about that.
Just
though.
something that popped into my mind in the last
I think it's
week.
more now medicine right now, and physical therapy has come so far. I mean, look at guys tearing their ACLs and coming back, in less than a year. I think it's things are just getting better. Strength and conditioning. I think, and if some people, you have a bad run somewhere and you jump in and you find a different guy. One guy showing you something different about a swing. Next thing you know, something clicks. And I truly believe that Scooter Gennett wasn't bad with the Brewers. He just wasn't going to make the Brewers team that year. Came over here, and it looked much better.
Yeah. He's got some serious power for a smaller guy, though. I mean, he's
He
not
does.
like a thin guy or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, look at a guy like Dustin Pedroia. He's bigger than Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia, for a 4 or 5 year span, was a 30, 35 home run guy.
Was he really?
25 to 30, I'd say, but still a lot. I mean, that's about where Gennett's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something that popped in, especially because Suarez came back from that injury a little early and has been so good. Like so much. I mean, he was a better player last year than the year before, certainly. And he when they put him at third base, he was terrible at first, and then pretty quickly he became a much better third baseman. And I don't, you can't attribute that to performance-enhancing drugs, I don't think. But
No.
But he must have just worked his tail off.
You got to also remember these guys are with Joey Votto every day, who is known as being the most dominant, not dominant, but the most hard-working player in all of baseball. You talk about first guy there, last guy there, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of where these guys who make the jump for the Reds and why the Reds are hitting as good as they are. I think a lot of it has to do with Votto. You get to watch the best of the best every day. It's going to rub off on you.
Yeah.
And he's fun. Votto's fun. Every one of these guys on the team love him. You see it when they're out there. So they're talking to him, and that I think I would say it's more of that deal than the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Than the steroids. But maybe they are.
I like I said, I didn't even want to bring it up because it's just going to, no matter what I say, it's going to sound like I'm suggesting that they may have taken performance-enhancing drugs.
I actually thought about doing a segment where we go back, because like you go back in the 90s and you can see these guys, the years they had when they were doping.
Right.
So I want to go through and see guys that just have random years now and take a guess. All right, what do you think? What do we do? We calling him the next Brady Anderson or what?
Yeah, a guy that Scooter Gennett reminds me a little bit of, like Brett Boone, who was just a
100%
bubble of muscle, I guess.
Yes.
And just was I don't know.
And his brother Aaron, nothing but the second most prolific home run in Yankees history. Anyway, speaking of Joey Votto, though, Joey Votto gets the shift put on him all the time.
He does.
Joey Votto hits all to the opposite field when he hits the ball in the air, hits a ton of home runs to left and left center. But when he hits a ball on the ground, it goes to second base or first. Mm-hmm. People put the shift on. The shift is becoming more and more of a topic of conversation around baseball. People hate the shift. Some people love the shift. It's part of the game. It's there. Guys like Joe Madden are just being nutcases about it. But my question to you is, what do you think about the shift? Are you a guy who says, get the hell rid of the shift? I don't want anybody, or you got to have at least 2 guys on either side of the infield. What do you think about the shift?
So I have no problem with it. Just right off the bat, I have no problem with the shift. However you want to shift, it's just about strategy. And I don't think there should be any limits. Should be very few limitations as long as you're not breaking any rules, and there are no rules about where a player has to play, there is really no rule that says the left fielder has to play in left field, or any other position. So I really, and so for me, I equate this to the zone in NBA basketball.
Okay.
And for a long time, you weren't allowed to play the zone. The zone defense was illegal in the NBA for a long time. They changed that. They changed rules a little bit. Now you can play a zone, but not a lot of teams do. But they also have a rule, a defensive 3-second rule. So that just you're allowed to play the zone, but you can't have a big guy. You can't have your Rudy Gobert standing underneath the
3
basket.
seconds, and defensive 3 seconds, things like that.
Right.
Okay.
So that equates to that. So for me, I don't think I don't think there should ever be a rule against the zone defense in basketball, because it's just a strategy. You should be allowed to use whatever strategy you can be creative and come up with. However you need to win a game within the rules, that should be fine. And I don't think there should be rules against the zone defense in the NBA, and I don't think there should be rules against shifting in Major
Joey
League Baseball.
Schmidt just said it best. Mm-hmm. Get better at offense if you don't like it. This kind of irritates me. And my dad hates the shift more than anything in the world. My whole life I grew up telling people the reason I love baseball is because every pitch I love watching guys take 5 steps to the left, 5 steps to the right, between pitches, between everything. Okay, that's a shift. So that's okay to do, because why are you doing that? You do it because a guy is probably going to hit, maybe this guy, every time he gets thrown a curveball, he takes it the opposite field. So what does the center fielder does? He takes 10 steps to the opposite field. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Double play, that's a shift. Double play depth is a shift. Corners in, corners playing the lines. Those are all shifts. All of a sudden, with all the advanced metrics that come out, all of a sudden you realize when this guy hits the ball on the ground, he always hits it on the right side. Mm-hmm. Why in God's name would you not put as many people over there as you can?
Right.
If you can't hit the ball to left, if you can't hit the ball to third base side, well, then I'm not putting somebody over there. That's a waste of a player. It's a waste to have him over there if I know you can't do it. And if you're on offense and it pisses you off that you can't, that people are shifting against you, put a damn bunt down. Mm-hmm. Hit the ball over there. Learn how to hit over there. They'll stop doing it. Be a better hitter, a better player. I don't care if all your power is when you pull the ball. That's fine then. Then if you want to try to hit into it, don't bitch when somebody's. I've said cuss twice during this thing, and I apologize for that.
You're getting worked up. I'm
excited.
I love it.
The shift, I don't love the shift. I don't love the shift because I feel like it's a big reason there is such big shifts now is because the offense isn't as good. There's not as much situational hitting. There's not as much guys. You don't have guys that come up and, hit 320. Like you don't have like 3 guys on your team hitting 310 or better because nobody cares anymore about getting hits and getting on base. They just want to drive the ball out. Fine. That's the way baseball's going. Got no problem with it. But I'm going to tell you right now that it really irks me when people get upset about the shift, especially major league hitters.
Yeah.
Learn how to hit. Put a bunt down. Ken Griffey Jr. used to do it. Junior would probably put 3 bunts down a year. Every once in a while, he'd drop a bunt down the left side just to try to keep you honest. Now, he knew that they wouldn't move the shift, but guess what? He got on base every single time he did it.
And why wouldn't you do it more often than that?
I would do it every single time. It's a free hit. They're almost giving you first base.
Yeah.
So you're gonna allow me to take. They're not gonna put the shift on if there's a guy on first, or it won't be as big of a shift. It's mostly when the bases are empty for the most part. So if they're gonna give you a base hit and let you have a hard bunt down the third base line, why is nobody taking this anymore?
Do you think the shift is going to make better hitters? I mean, are
No,
guys
because
going
obviously not. It's been 5-6 years, and you see more shift now than you ever have.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
and you see the shift working more than it ever has. Joey Votto, I mean, it would be irritating for me to smoke a ground ball in between second and first, and have your second, and then hit it, but it go right to the second baseman who's playing 5 feet, 10 feet in the grass because the shortstop's playing second, or the third baseman is how they usually do it. That would irritate me as a hitter and just make me want to learn how to get out of
how
that.
to hit the other way. Yeah.
And Joey Votto can hit the other way. I know that.
Yep.
So put a couple bunts down every once in a while. Make people be honest. I'd do it every single time I'd put a bunt down over there. Because that shortstop or third baseman's playing all the way. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Joey Votto is an interesting example because he's a line drive hitter mostly, right?
Sure.
And he, when he hits line drives, he can hit them all over the field. Like you said, when he hits ground balls, more often than not, they're on the right side. He pulls ground balls for some reason.
Yeah.
Not every time. Sometimes he'll dribble one through the 5.5 hole or whatever, and but
it's mostly a missed swing when he does that, or he hits the ball off the end of the bat.
But I think he can do that. I think he goes the other way as well as anyone in the game, I think. And so he's a guy that it doesn't make as much sense for me. I know if you get him to hit the ball on the ground, it's more likely going to go to the right side, but he's a line drive hitter, though.
It's the numbers. That's why when he's up, the infield does it. But if you look at the outfield, they shift to left field.
Right.
Because when he hits the ball in the air, it's more than likely going to left center, center to left center. That's normally where it's going to go. That's why the outfield shifts the opposite of the infield against him. And once again, advanced metrics. People see what you do. You know what? So
everybody can see your spray
everybody
chart.
Can see your spray chart. Everybody knows where the ball goes. Launch angles, ground balls, fly balls, where they're going. With all of this knowledge, you have that knowledge as a hitter too. You can pull your own stats up. You can see all this. Figure it out.
Yep.
That's what I say.
When I was looking into this, an interesting thing, and you just mentioned launch angle, Joey Gallo, power hitter for the Texas Rangers. He's one of the big names that's brought up most of the time when you talk about launch angle and exit velocity and this kind of new age thinking about hitting, and where you're just really just swinging for the fences.
Right.
That guy. So the Houston Astros, they're in the same division, so they play him all the time. So the Houston Astros just recently played. They shift him big time every time. But just recently, they played all 4 infielders on the right side of second base. They brought the third baseman on the other side of second base. The shortstop was like where the second baseman normally plays, but like in shallow right center. And then the second baseman, Jose Altuve, was in like shallow right field. And then the first baseman was kind of playing regular depth.
Right.
And the Josh Reddick, the right fielder, was playing pretty much straight away, actually, in right field, but deep. And then the center fielder was playing pretty much straight away, and the left fielder was playing way off the left field line. But it was really interesting to see, because I feel like that's one you usually see the shortstop go to the other side of second base, maybe, or just
a lot
just
of
on top
times
of
you've been seeing a lot of the third baseman now going to the other side of second base. I've seen and leaving the guy with the most range, your shortstop
on the right
over there, bringing your third baseman over and putting him a little closer to second than the second baseman may normal play, but then having your second baseman in a shallow center or a shallow right. That's the shift that seems like I feel like I see the most, especially against Votto. And maybe it's because I watch mostly Reds games, but that's the shift that I see the most.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see that all 4, and you're right that people do bring their kind of lap their third baseman over the shortstop and have him be the one that plays on the other side of second base. But it was interesting to see all four. I feel like you don't see all four infielders on the right side of second base very often.
No.
And it was
You don't.
that was a little bit different than earlier in the year. They played 4 outfielders. They took, I think it was the shortstop, and put him in left center or something like that. And like they played 4 outfielders.
A lot of these teams are doing crazy stuff. We were talking the other day. I don't remember. I think it was the Cubs or the Brewers. Somebody only played with 2 outfielders, and basically had a short right, and then the rest of your infielders, but we're playing with just basically 2 outfielders. The shifts are getting crazier, and people are going to try all kinds of things. But in the end, when you got a guy, in the end, people wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, and there, there's all kinds of arguments or just articles and things you can find, kind of evaluating the shift that talk about how effective it really is. Some people say it's more effective. You can create more outs when you shift against the guy, but it's a much smaller percentage than most people think.
Right.
But other people think, oh my gosh, yeah, if this guy hits 75% of the time on the right side, you have to put at least 3 guys on the right side of the bag, or on the right side of second base. And there are so many nuances. There are so many little details about how to play it, and all depending on the kind
so
of
we
batter.
feel the same, though, right?
We do.
All right.
We do. We're
Let
both,
the shift go.
let it go.
Let's do it.
I say
Learn how to hit. God bless it.
So I say what the shift I want to see is bring the catcher out. Bring the catcher out. Put him in center field. Just pitch to the hitter. Just pitch to the hitter. Bring the catcher out.
Yeah.
Have him be. You could put him
and let the pitcher just after he throws it just go get the ball. If there's nobody on base, then who cares?
Yeah, right. And that's I guess
just
it only
throw
works.
it. It'll bounce off the wall. He just walks down, picks it up, walks back to the mound.
Yeah, I get it only works if there's nobody on. But you just lob it in there and let him hit. Because you got an extra guy out there.
I like it. I like it.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't, but I'm still good with it. All right, so here we go. So I got one other thing that I want to bring up about baseball before we get off of it, because we are going on vacation. I am going on vacation next week. It hasn't been known yet. It's not known yet if we are going to do a Nosebleed Sports podcast. I'm gonna bring the equipment with me that I can attach my phone up to it, so Adam can call me and we can record through the phone. Not sure if it's gonna happen. We'll find out. But I want to go over something about that later. Real quick though, our ugliest Major League Baseball player bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So the latest bracket was between our friends Otis Nixon and Pascual Perez, and my boy won.
Yep.
Otis takes the victory. I kind of figured that was going to happen, but that brings us to our next bracket, which is Andy Etchebarren and Jack Wilson. Andy, this dude, I think we might have misplaced him. Oh, was it 4?
4 seed.
Oh, it is the 4 seed. Oh, it's Rob Malakote and Jorge Cantu. This is going to be a close one.
You think so?
I do think so. Rob Malakote, man, this good. Jorge Cantu is a pretty ugly dude. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Former Red. I liked him.
I mean, he was good.
He was good.
I mean, he was okay.
He was a pretty good hitter. Yeah,
I got to pull Malakote back up because I don't 100% remember.
Yeah,
my boy. Malakote. This is the guy I said looks like somebody I think I know. All right, so I really
don't
enjoy.
say their name.
I would never do that. No, because they might be watching us on the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Hey, and
we got a few people.
Speaking of Steve Snodgrass, I see you're on here checking us out, Steve. Without a doubt, I feel like might be our number 1 fan, and I appreciate that. Steve, you get a Nosebleeds Sports Podcast t-shirt. I just decided right now I'm going to mail it to you. Send Adam what size you need, because you comment and put our name in all kinds of comments, and I love it. It gives me something to look at.
He's He's very good at participating. And,
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yes, I could hear you vacuuming.
Steve's a good one.
All right, so Rob Malakote, Jorge Cantu, let's get this thing going. It'll be up tonight. You guys can check it out. Get your vote on, and we appreciate all your help.
Wait till you see Rob Malakote. You're going to love it.
Rob Malakote is one of my favorites. He really is.
I've never heard of the guy before we started looking into this.
He almost kind of seems like he was probably a hippie at some point in time.
Sure.
I mean, he played in the 70s,
Yeah,
80s,
everybody
80s,
then
I
looked
guess.
like that.
Exactly. All right.
You had a lot of people that look like Willie Nelson that played in the 70s and 60s and 70s, and now you don't have anybody that looks like that.
Exactly. Oh goodness. Good for. I'm excited about this Malakote Jorge Cantu because
I think
Cantu's
it's gonna be
just
a landslide.
Cantu's a naturally ugly dude, I think.
Yeah.
And Malakote with there's 2 or 3 really ugly pictures that I think might put him over the edge.
All right.
Who's your vote? Who's your vote? Between Malakote and Cantu.
Mine's Malakote.
So Malakote's the 4 seed, Cantu is the 13 seed.
Right.
You're going with Malakote?
I'm going Malakote, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at this one a little bit because I might go Cantu.
You know, I think I picked the upset in the Otis Nixon Pascual Perez. I picked Perez.
There was a couple people.
It was close for a while, and then Otis kind of pulled away.
Otis pulled away when people started actually looking up more pictures of people.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. All right, so vacation. I will be on vacation next week. I really want to try to do this. We're gonna try to still put this on. It may or it's not gonna be on Facebook Live. Except I keep seeing on here that I can bring them on camera. I don't know how that works. We might try it. Why not? Sounds like fun. But what I wanted to ask you was we're in the middle of vacation season right now.
Yes, we are.
Best and worst vacation stories. I want to know what your the best vacation you ever had, the worst vacation you ever had. But before you do, I want to tell you the worst thing that's ever happened to me on vacation. Actually, it wasn't the worst thing for me. It was more the worst thing for my wife. And
that
Tricia
poor
St. Clair,
woman.
I see you're on here right now. You'll remember this. I was in Hilton Head Island. We were on the beach. I tend to, ever since I've been playing baseball my whole life, I tend to chafe pretty easy when I'm sweating and running around and stuff. And I thought I was chafed pretty bad. Got going out there. We were out playing on the beach, probably playing some paddle ball, a little volleyball, probably tossing a little baseball out on the beach. Get in. I can't walk. It hurts to walk. And I'm like, oh, what is wrong? What is going on? So after everybody's laughing at me and, I powder like crazy, powder for 2 days, and I just can't walk. There's nothing I can do. I got the monkey butt out. I've used baby powder, Gold Bond. I bought all of it. None of it's working.
Mm-hmm.
I finally go in the bathroom. I'm like, hey, what the heck is going on down here? I got an ingrown hair on my taint.
Oh, God.
And it was huge. Dude, it was, I bet the total, like the white and then the red around it was like if you took the full red around it was probably the size of a dime. It was huge. So it's the very first vacation that my wife ever goes on with with my family.
Oh.
We're just dating at the time. She's not even allowed to be in the same room as me. She's sleeping in the room with my sister and the other and the other girl that's on vacation with us. So, so my mom says, "I will pop it for you, son."
Oh.
I am
Absolutely not.
24, 25 years old. No, guess what? You're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. God love my wife. That's when I knew she was a keeper. I knew she was a keeper.
Yeah.
She walked in the bathroom. I propped one leg up on top of that bathtub.
Oh, God.
She got down there and just
popped
popped her right out.
Oh, my God.
Pus everywhere.
Oh, my God.
Running down my leg, blood in my drawers. Oh, my gosh. Best vacation story I got. I mean, that was the worst
Wait, was
vacation.
was it the best or
was
the
the worst vacation because it was 3 days where I couldn't walk.
Oh, my God. I mean, that one incident alone, that one event, I mean, she's got her seat up there.
Oh yeah,
in heaven for sure. I mean, she could kill 50 people and she's still going there because that's the worst. That's the worst experience of anyone's life. to have to be the one to pop that thing.
I
don't care how much
listen,
pain you were in.
I'm gonna tell you,
She had a much worse experience. Trust me.
The pain was horrible. But this was also the first time that I found out that she absolutely loves popping things on your body.
Oh,
I'll
God.
have a little pimple on my shoulder, and she's just staring at it. She just stares at it. Can I get it? Can I
Oh.
get it? Can I get it? Can I get it? No. I get a little zit on my nose or something. Can I pop it? Can I pop it? No. It hurts. Get away from me.
It can be. I can kind of understand. It can be a little bit satisfying to like pop stuff like that. There's just something about it. But on someone else, that I'm not sure I understand.
She loves it. All right, so I want to
She
know.
loves you.
I want to know what your best vacation story is, or best vacation, or worst vacation. What do you got?
I don't have too many extremes one way or the other. I'm not really that. I'm kind of a. I'm not a real excitable guy most of the time, but I would say my best vacation overall. I'm not a guy that goes on vacation very often, to be honest with you. I might go on little like weekend trips here or there or something once in a while, but
Sure.
most of the time I don't go anywhere. But I would say maybe my favorite vacation my dad, my brother, and I did like an Indiana basketball vacation. And it was, I would say I was in my early 20s or maybe 19, 20, something like that. And we went to Indiana University, and at the time I was a big IU fan because I loved Bob Knight and I loved
Sure.
the whole toughness and discipline thing.
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm older, I realize the guy's an awful jerk, but
Huge jerk.
yeah.
Huge jerk. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's a great basketball mind. Huge jerk.
Anyway. But at the time I was really excited, and Indiana just has a great basketball history anyway. So we went there, kind of walked around the campus. I mean, that part was just cool anyway, basketball or not. But we went there to kind of like try to see the arena and stuff like that, and we didn't get inside or anything, but it was still really cool. We went there and I think I got an Indiana basketball shirt while I was there or whatever from IU. We went to Indiana State, which was a big deal for me because that's where my tied for favorite or 1B or 1A or whatever.
He's the legend. It's the legend.
It's the legend.
Larry Legend.
Larry Legend went to ISU, so we went there. We had to go there and see the campus and just kind of walk around and try to step on the same few inches of concrete that he did at some point,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
something stupid like that. And then we went to his hometown, French Lick.
Yeah, you got to go to French Lick. I heard they
French
got a few really great golf courses at French Lick.
I've heard that
in
too.
French Lick.
We didn't check out the golf courses while we were there, but we did check out Larry Bird Boulevard, and I think we found the house he grew up in or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we found the school. We went to West Baden. There was like a neighboring town, West Baden. He went to high school there, so we went there. There was like a little park with a basketball hoop. Like on Larry Bird Boulevard, I think, by a school or something.
Probably
like that.
he shot there at some point in time.
Yeah, we got out and shot there for
There you
a
go.
little bit.
That's what we did when we went to Boston. We found when me and you went to
Yeah,
Boston. Me, you, and Joey. We found a spot, and there was a ballpark and a bat, and we went and bought a bunch of balls and we played home run derby.
Yes, we
Just
did.
sounded like something good to do,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. They had that little like temporary fence, the short fence up too.
Yeah.
Like it was like
It was
set up
perfect.
for a softball thing or something. Yeah.
So anyway,
Um,
is this your best?
I
the
think.
best?
I mean, I had some decent vacations, but that's probably my favorite one. Just because we just kind of drove around and did like a basketball themed
So you're telling me
state of Indiana.
that was better than going to Boston?
That was way up there too.
Yeah,
That
Boston
was.
we got to go behind the Green Monster.
I know we did. That one was actually awesome because we went to Cooperstown.
At some point in time, we'll get into a whole long story about the Boston trip that we took with no cruise control, which I felt so bad for my Adam's brother in the back seat.
Yeah,
Cruise control is
had a rough
difficult to ride in.
I had bought that car like 2 weeks before we went or something like that. I think
Threw some miles on that bad boy.
We did,
Driving
boy.
on the cobblestone roads in Boston. There's no There's no
There are no
white
lane markers.
lines. There's
There are
no
no
lane.
lane
There,
markers.
it's 4 lanes deep, and you can probably fit 3 cars in those 4 lanes, and everybody's going back and forth.
And they fit 6 in there.
Yeah, it's nuts. It was poor
was-
Adam was just white knuckling it.
That was rough to drive too. I was like 20 years old, I think. That was tough, but it was an awesome trip. We took the tour of Fenway. We went to Cooperstown.
Yeah,
We took the tour of Fenway Park.
tour of Fenway Park.
And then saw, I think we mentioned this before on this podcast, we saw Barry Zito versus Lowe.
Derek Lowe.
Derek Lowe.
Yeah.
In
I-
their best seasons.
Yeah. So check this out. So we get there, and there is we don't have tickets at that point in time. Boston sold out every game, but they sold standing room only and obstructed view seats before every game. We get there, we're the first people when the ticket booth opens. She says, "Hey, we have obstructed view, but all it is we took a row of seats and put it in an aisle."
Mm-hmm.
So we had extra foot room. We're about 15 rows behind the dugout. Every once in a while, in between innings, somebody would walk in front of you. But I was 20 yards away from my favorite baseball player at the time, Nomar Garciaparra.
Yeah,
And we
that
got to
was
watch
big.
Miguel Tejada in his prime in Oakland, who, by the way, probably has the fastest hands, the most smooth hands I ever seen from a shortstop. Before he got real big and bulky, he was as smooth as silk.
That was the year that Oakland won 20 games
20
in a
games
row.
in a row. I think so, yeah.
2002, I believe. Anyway, that trip was awesome.
So that was good. We've had some good ones. We've had some good ones. There's one other. Oh man, no, it wasn't as good.
So let me ask you this.
Ask me this.
Your favorite vacation spot.
Favorite vacation spot?
Favorite place to go on vacation.
I used to love the Hilton Head Island. We went there a lot. You know what though? I'm starting to really like the golf.
Yeah.
I'm starting to enjoy the golf.
The golf, huh?
The golf.
The GULF.
The GULF.
You like the golf
I like
GOLF too, right?
I do. I love the GOLF. In fact, I'm taking the clubs down with me. So yeah, we're gonna.
How are you gonna pack? You're taking clubs.
Nah,
you're taking audio equipment.
I got my brother-in-law just bought a truck. He's got a cap on it. I'm gonna shove it on the back of his truck. Are you
All right.
kidding? I
There
don't
you
need
go.
to take any of this.
That'll work.
That or I got some bag I can stick on top of the car and tie it down. We'll be all right.
So you said your worst vacation story. What's your best vacation?
That was also my best vacation.
Okay. All right. So
How great of I got the best story in the world out of it.
That's
How often do
Best.
you get someone else, a hot chick, first time she goes on vacation with you, to pop a ingrown hair on your taint? That doesn't happen very often.
that's something I don't
That's
ever
so
want to
great.
have happen to
It's
me.
the best thing in the world.
It's different strokes for different folks. So last thing though.
There you go.
Last thing though. No pun intended there. Settle down.
You're laughing, not me.
Last thing. Okay. Last thing. Your vacation spot that you've never been to that you really want to go.
I'd probably Hawaii or something like that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, somewhere.
You ever been out of the country?
Yeah, we've been on some cruises, but to be honest, to me, man, I'd rather just be on the boat out on the water. I don't need to stop at all these third world countries and have them all bug me, and I don't need all that. I can go to a beach anywhere.
By bug you, do you mean there are a lot of bugs around there? That
No,
are gonna
I mean
get on
it's
you?
like, hello, pretty lady, braid your hair, and all this
Oh,
stuff.
someone said that in a third world country to you?
I had really long hair at the
Hey,
time.
pretty lady.
I had
you gotta
really
braid your
long hair at the time. Oh man. That's okay. So the best vacation I ever had was the time when I asked my wife to marry me. That's a funny story too. I couldn't find a time to ask her, and I kept this ring in my pocket forever. So, I was gonna do it on the beach. I was gonna do it at romantic dinner, do something cool like that. So what do? A day or two before my birthday, we're at go-karts. We're driving go-karts, and just randomly, somebody's asked to take our picture next to a sign. And I was like, sounds like a good time. I think the sign said, like, see you next time you come or something like that to the go-kart rink. So All the pictures are of me on a knee at some broke down go-kart rink. Best vacation ever. My wife. That was probably her worst. Now thinking back, it's probably her worst vacation because she agreed.
I don't think I ever remember hearing that story about that's where you did. Man, I had to have heard that, but wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go.
I need to see that picture.
I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
Find it for me somewhere.
Aaron will find it for you.
All right.
All right. So we got a few minutes left before let's get off of this vacation stuff for a minute, and let's talk about the most interesting sport in the world, soccer. Nothing?
You said most interesting?
All right, we all know
it's the most popular. It's the most interesting to a lot of people.
It is. And if you are watching this live on our Facebook, or if you are listening to this anytime, this is the podcast for sports. Or for all sports, and it's probably the best podcast for World Cup soccer. So I'm going to get on to my World Cup soccer app. Yeah, have a World Cup soccer app. That's how big of a World Cup soccer guy I am. And let you know that Croatia is the first team ever in the history of World Cup to win 3 straight games decided by penalty kicks.
The first team in history?
Ever.
Wow.
3 straight World Cup games decided by penalty kicks.
I didn't realize we were watching history.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I did not know that. I guarantee.
Now you know. Now you know. So
now
they knocked out England, right?
They did.
And which would have been really fun to see England versus France, because I don't know. Everybody on the radio made it sound like it was a big deal. I don't know why that's a big deal.
Oh.
Yeah. To be completely honest. So anyway, so the it's going to be France versus Croatia. Now, this is tough for you because you picked both France and Croatia to do this. I picked neither. I think I took Belgium and England, so I am completely out of this. Adam, you are obviously the World Cup god. You're able to pick these things like it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's almost like I want to see what you got in your crystal ball, man. What do you got?
That's the thing. When you spend that much time in your life around the game, you kind of have like
you just know what's going to happen.
Sixth sense almost about it. You just kind of feel it.
I hear you.
And that's certainly the case for me with soccer. So so Croatia, France.
Croatia, France.
So on the one hand, France, I like a lot of their players. Tony Parker. You got Nicolas Batum. You got you got Rudy Gobert. You got a lot of good players on that French team.
All right, so how about the Croatians?
The Croatian team, you know what? You have several.
Tony Kukoc, right?
The captain is Tony Kukoc.
There's no doubt. I mean, when he's got 3 rings, so
he does. He has 3 rings, so he he's probably the best Croatian player ever in any sport.
Attaboy.
So I think for that reason, and because Tony Kukoc played on my favorite basketball team ever, I'm going to pick Croatia.
Croatia. Wow.
Croatia
win off of
France.
Parker. I thought you were going Tony Parker the whole way. All right, so
Tony
in
Parker
that case,
doesn't play for the Spurs anymore, so I don't care as much about
so
him
you're
now.
done. All right. Well, in that case, I have to go with France then, correct?
No, you go with whoever you
want.
want.
No, I want to go with France because I want to make a bet on the World Cup with you.
Okay. What's our bet?
Well, I don't know, man. What do you think? We got to have something good because it means a lot to me. Like, I bleed red, white, and blue of France.
Yeah, I know that about you.
You bleed the red, white, and blue of Croatia. I just realized both their flags are red, white, and blue.
A lot of people's are. On the 4th of July, you had a tank top of the French flag.
Oh, yes, I did.
And matching shorts.
Wait, and by the way, on vacation. So my goal this year for vacation was to lose 30 lbs before we got there.
And you are?
I hit it.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually lost 30 point something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I hit it. So all the people going on vacation with us and possibly everybody that wants to see on our podcast or the FaceTube.
Okay.
I told them all they get to see me in a Speedo now.
Oh,
So to
God.
match my red, white, and blue France or American flag tank top is the American flag Speedo.
I'm gonna
medium size.
I'm gonna force you to eat like tons of cake before you leave or something to get back over that under that 30-pound.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't. I'm sending you a picture when I'm on the beach.
I know you will.
Yes, I will. All right, so
God
how
bless
about
you.
this? This is the bet. Here's the deal. If Croatia wins, I'll do a whole Facebook Live standing in my Speedo. If France wins, you have to do the whole Facebook Live standing in your Speedo. And I'm buying you a Speedo.
No, you are not. They don't make Speedos.
You don't have that much faith in Croatia?
They don't make Speedos in kid sizes.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I don't
my
think
buddy,
they do. You got to go to Europe
One
for
of my
that.
best friends we used to go on vacation with was a big swimmer, and they had Speedos when they were little. I can get you a kid small. You'll be all right.
What if it's too big?
Well, then it is what it is. You're standing with your back half turned anyway. You'll be all right. So what's the deal? Are you in for this or what?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how not in I am. I can't even explain
All
it
right.
to you. So whatever
anybody-
we do,
we got-
since you want everyone to see you in a Speedo, that can
I
be
enjoy it.
I know you do. That can be. Oh man, you can find. I'm sure somewhere on the internet you can find the video of your dance for your. I think it was your
I'm on
brother-in-law's
YouTube,
birthday.
bro. I'm on YouTube.
Um,
I
with
had a
your,
grass skirt that I didn't find out was a youth size grass skirt until after I had already put it on with only a jock strap under it, so my whole behind was hanging out. Phenomenal
for
Phenomenal.
for a very few
Coconut bra.
for a very few people. So that can be what happened. So you can do that. You're gonna do that anyway.
Steve wants to know where your sense of adventure is. I agree. Where is your sense of adventure,
It's
Adam?
nowhere. It's absolutely nowhere.
Sense of adventure
I
from
don't-
the guy who doesn't want to
I
adventure
don't
into
have
anything.
that. I don't have that. It's something I honestly, genuinely need to work on. I need to try new things. It's something I'm working on. But
We don't have much time.
That's not one thing.
We don't have
that
much
I'm gonna
time.
do.
If that's not what you're going to do, then if that's not what the bet is, then we need to figure it out real quick.
Okay. Let's see. If France wins, I have to.
I say you have to go camping.
Oh, jeez. What? Who has time
Camp
for camping?
outside. You just got to camp outside in your backyard one night.
There are critters out there.
I know there are. You can stay in the tent, zip it up.
I almost had an encounter with a skunk today.
That's gross. Oh, skunks are disgusting. Take the bet, they say. Take the bet. Where's your sense of adventure? Come on.
Trust me.
I'll buy the
you
Speedo.
don't want me to take the bet. You don't
You're in
want me
phenomenal
to.
shape. You're the best looking
No, I'm not in
36-year-old man I've
phenomenal
ever
shape.
seen. He's got a 30-pack, for God's sake. Camping in a tent with a fire and a dog. I say you have to camp outside. I'll put the fire pit out in my backyard and let the dog run around. He'll protect you from all the critters.
He looks like a wolf.
She does look like a wolf.
She looks like a wolf.
She is a wolf.
I said she.
All right, Adam, how about eating weird food?
I'd rather camp.
All right, camp out it is then.
I can't camp in my backyard
Why not?
because you can't do that.
All right.
I'll have to. I don't know. I don't have a tent. I'm not laying just straight on the ground. I can tell you that.
No, I'll give you a cot. I got a tent. I got a cot. You'll be fine.
I can't be out in the exposed air. I got to have a tent.
Loser
I gotta
has
be
to sing
ins-
the winner's national anthem. I like that. Winner. That's it. Croatia wins. I will sing the national anthem on the next podcast. If France wins, you have to sing the France's national anthem on the next podcast.
In
I love
French?
it. Yeah. Oh, well, you're just gonna have to read the words. I mean, you can say it however you want to say it.
I have to find a translation.
You can do that. I'm going to speak in Croatian when I have to sing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Brad Ellis, great. Hey, Uncle Brad, perfect. I like it. Are you in?
That's a good
Are you in?
suggestion.
Are you in?
I don't know whether you want to see less of me in a Speedo or hear me sing. I don't know
I don't
which
care.
is worse.
Just do it.
Okay.
Yes. All right, there we go. All right, so thanks for the guys who
Good
popped on
suggestion.
and saw us on Facebook Live. This was kind of a random thing. We didn't let anybody know. It just kind of happened before
I
we did
feel
it.
like it's going to happen all the time. I don't know.
I'm up for it. I'm down for it. We'll probably have it on here all the time. It's just really late at night. So if you're on, thanks for watching.
People are on.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, we got hundreds of people on here right now.
If you
Again.
show it, they will come.
That's right. So here's the deal. You can catch us on Facebook at the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. Oh, cut Paul's toenails.
Nope, I'm leaving that to Melinda.
He'll never do that. And then you have you can catch us on iTunes. You can catch us on SoundCloud. You can catch us on the CastBox and YouTube. Check it out. Subscribe. If you're a new subscriber, this is the last week I'm doing it. If you are a new subscriber this week to any of these, send me a screenshot or something that shows you subscribing to our website or to one of those platforms, and then send me your shirt size, and I will give you a Nosebleed Sports Podcast T-shirt.
Special shout out, really quick. I gotta say, because he subscribed last week. He's waiting for his shirt. I gotta get it to him.
Yep.
Eric,
I just need to
Eric
know what
Gagnon,
size.
my guy. Pup.
Big. Oh,
That's it. He's getting one. He's getting one. Is that your best?
that's my
your
best pup.
dog?
You didn't say dog. You said
Yeah,
pup.
yeah, I did
You
say
want a
pup.
dog? You want a
Okay.
dog? Oh, my
Nah,
DMX about to come
that's
out.
not.
DMX about to come out.
Not a DMX fan at all.
That's crazy. I love DMX. Anyway, all right. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate you watching. And like I said, subscribe, and you can get your Nosebleed Sports Podcast T-shirt. You'll be good to go. And we'll see you next week.
Maybe.
Don't forget to vote. Ugliest. I'm doing it. I'm taking it, and I'm doing it.
We'll see.
Ugliest. The ugliest sports. The ugliest man. Don't forget to vote on that as well.
Yep.
All right. For Adam Schmidt, I am Chris Witt. Don't forget to turn your headlights on. I always forget that anybody watching on Facebook Live can't even hear this.
Yeah, it's true.
Explosive.